You are listening to PastThink.com audiobook. Please like and subscribe, thank you. Chapter 117. Deng Ai scales the mountains to bypass the Shu army. Zhuge Zhan dies fighting. To his relief it is further Shu troops, and together they hold the pass. Some commanders are worried about the possibility of an attack by the enemy directly on Chengdu, but Jiang Wei points out that the towering mountains in between will act as a serious defense. The first attack by Zhuge Su fails, for he is driven back by Jiang Wei. Returning in disgrace to Zhonghui, Zhuge Su has to apologize for being outsmarted by Jiang Wei. But this is not enough for the supreme commander. Zhonghui orders the execution of Zhuge Su, and is only just persuaded to mitigate this to imprisonment by the earnest pleas of his other commanders. The treatment of Zhuge Su horrifies Deng Ai, and in particular he resents the authority that Zhonghui has taken upon himself without consultation with him. In a personal confrontation little respect is shown by either side, with both men pretending to admire the plans of the other, but in truth dismissing each other. This leads to Deng Ai deciding that if Zhonghui can take Guanzhong, then he can take Chengdu and gain the victor's crown. This near impossible task he now takes on, and he sets off the very next day to cover the long and arduous distance to the capital. When Zhonghui hears this, he simply couldn't care less, convinced that such an attack is impossible, and that Deng Ai will die trying. It takes Deng Ai and his men 20 days of climbing and road making to enable the supplies to follow on, but eventually they arrive at the foot of the huge mountain range known as Heaven-Scraping Mountain. Despair overcomes the engineers, for there is no way they can construct a path over such rugged and sheer mountains. But Deng Ai is adamant. We have come 400 or more miles, so there's no going back. He gathers his men about him and asks if they are willing to face the greatest challenge yet. To a man they shout back their agreement. Climbing up the almost sheer mountain face, they eventually reach the top. Far below them at the bottom on the other side lies the way forward. Deng Ai orders his men to slide their weapons down the sheer cliff face. Then he rolls himself in his felt jacket. Others do the same, then one by one they roll down the cliff face. Those without felt use their ropes and cling on to trees and bushes as they slowly descend. This is how they overcome Heaven-Scraping Mountain. To their astonishment at the bottom, where they land is a stele engraved with words written by Kong Ming. It says, "Two fires commence. A man will pass. Two warriors compete. Soon death will come." Amazed at Kong Ming's foreknowledge, Deng Ai venerates the stele. Later this was written. Heaven touching Yin Ping, rugged and steep. Even the crane hesitates confronted by such heights. Here Deng Ai wrapped in felt came rolling down. Astonished that Kong Ming had foreseen just that. With such an element of surprise they easily take Jiang Yu. News of their advance comes to the second ruler, who is, of course, profoundly alarmed. When he questions Huang Hao, he is told that these reports are false. Yet even though the second ruler asks to see the shaman again, no one can find her. Reports pour in, and in extremis at last the second ruler tries to act. He calls his officials, and they suggest asking for the help of Kong Ming's son, Zhuge Zhan. Originally, at the court of Shu, he despaired of the corruption and, pleading sickness, stayed away. Summoned, he now rises to the occasion, and takes command of the troops in Chengdu. It is his plans and plots that begin to turn the tide. One attempt by the way to break through is thwarted by the appearance of Kong Ming riding in his famous carriage. The mere sight of him so unnerves the way that the men run, but are slaughtered in great numbers by the Shu. Battle after battle goes against the Wei. Deeply troubled, Deng Ai seeks to win Zhuge Zhan to his side by sending a flattering letter, but Zhuge Zhan simply tears the paper into pieces and executes the messenger. At last Deng Ai, by using the retreat and ambush strategy, inflicts a crushing defeat upon the Shu. Surging forward, the Wei army besieges the city of Minju. Desperate for assistance, Zhuge Zhan sends an appeal for help to the Wu kingdom. When the ruler Sun Xiu reads the appeal, he agrees to send reinforcements. But it takes time to get the troops ready. Before they can arrive, and not even knowing if they are on the way, Guanzhong has frankly given up hope. He decides upon a last-minute attempt to break out, and with his son Guanzhong by his side he and the army ride out to fight Deng Ai. It is a catastrophic mistake, and both men die fighting. After he has triumphed, Deng Ai, moved by the courage of the father and son, gives them honorable burial. Mianzhu falls the next day. Now the march is on for Chengdu. Is this the end for Shu?